Hello everybody, it's Chrissy here from the Creative Eclectic. Hope you're having a fabulous Thursday and that if you're in Brisbane you're not melting and you're not freezing if you're in the Northern Hemisphere or New Zealand. Today I'm just popping on to, as promised yesterday, I'm doing a little bit earlier today than planned because Steve and I have to go and do some, pick up some things after lunch. So, hi Kim, lovely to see you again. 2 days in a row, I'm feeling pretty special. Yeah, so today we're going to have a little look at the annual catalogue as part of our love month and talk about what things in the annual catalogue you could use for your love cards, whether they be Valentine's or whatever. And I'm hoping that not having too many broadcast issues, our internet is a little bit dodgy today. Thank you, Kim. I feel very special having you here. Oh, gosh, you're so special. That's sweet. Okay, so let's get started. So grab your annual catalogue and we'll just have a look-see at what I've marked them all off. Mine's in a bit of a disarray, so it's very well loved. So one of the first things that you can use on your love cards is there is a set on page 14 called A Wish for Everything. Now it's got matching word dies, but it's got happy and Thanksgiving, so you can use that for your sentiments and you can use it for a whole lot of other stuff. So the purpose of my video is to show you things that you might not necessarily think are love cards. Right, so one of my favourite things is this jar of flowers. Now what you can do with this, because it's got a matching punch and it's got little, what are they called, like shaker dome things, mason jar domes, is you could stamp this, punch out your mason jar and fill it with heart-shaped lollies and put it on the front of a card, and you can make it so the lollies open up. I will demonstrate that in a video next week, okay? So who else have we got watching? Make sure you say hello. I can't necessarily always see. Okay, so some people I have seen, and I'm not saying that this is what I would do, but I have seen some people use the Days to Remember stamp set because it's got February and you can mask and use the number 14 and the little hearts on a Valentine's card. So let's flick through a bit more. Okay, so this one here, this is Brew Some Fun. So if you are a coffee lover like me, this might be a card that you can, or a set that you can use on your cards. So you've got a coffee cup, and what I have thought of doing this set, if I get it, is actually print out or die cut from another set, I love you more than coffee, and then print out the words "Don't make me prove it" for the inside of the card, because my husband knows that I just love my coffee and he's very kind and makes me coffee every morning. So yes. So that could be an anniversary card. The next one is Always in My Heart set. Now this has got some great die cuts. So all of these white bits that you see, they're die cuts. So the coordinating die cuts are called Floral Hearts dies, and they're on page 163. And Yes. Now, I'm going to point out this set here, the right behind. So just ignore the words. And maybe not ignore the words. So for me, this little image here screams Paris in the springtime. Okay, so you could put some little flowers in the basket. He's got his little Parisian striped shirt on. So that to me could be used with sentiments from another set for an anniversary, or even just for friendship. Like, I think like people might say that's a girl, it could be a guy because it's got long hair. Lots of men have long hair and man buns these days, so just don't discount that. It's quite a cute little set. And the same with the two sets on page 86, the Badger Besties. So you could make these two little badgers dancing. So you could have a Mr. and a Mrs. Badger. And just ignore the words. So we're talking about, as I said, what you could use for Valentine's. It's not necessarily Valentine's. And the same with the senior years. These two old folks, I just think, are so gorgeous. And if my mum let him, my dad would wear pants like that, but my mum won't let him. I think she picks his clothes every day. So who else have we got watching? We got someone dropping in and out. Now, this set here, the Nothing's Better Than, I'm going to show you a card. I'm going to make a card at the end of this video using this set, and it's got coordinating Love You More Than dies, and they're on page 145. So we will come back to that set. Okay, it's pretty awesome. Now there's other things that I haven't covered in here, but I'm just giving you a few ideas. Now, the Banner Year set. This is a really great set because it's got little images and different words, but it's got little hearts, and so you could have that little heart envelope, use it with someone else, and guess who loves you. So that could be for an adult or for a child, or just maybe keep that in the back of your mind, because you could use that all year round. There's Christmas things, all sorts of stuff. Thank you, Kim. I'm glad you loved my ideas. Okay, so next up is the Hydrangea Haven Set. Now it's got some lovely little words. I don't know if you can see them. Might zoom them in. It says I love you. So if you have this set already, you could use that I love you, and you can use these splotches, these 1, 2, 3 splotches for backgrounds. So, and that might even work on the background of the card that I am going to show you a little later on. Now there's lots of other things that are in here. I've just picked out a few, and I haven't picked out every one because I wanted to keep it a fairly short video today. But what I will show you is some of the papers that you might consider using on a love card. So there's at the top of page 132 and 133, and excuse my husband for sneezing in the background, you've got the In Good Taste Designer Series paper, and you've also got the Simply Elegant. Now the Simply Elegant paper has got some really beautiful gold embossing on it, and so it's got some Art Deco stuff, which is lovely. So just think about that, whereas the In Good Taste has got wood grains and those sort of things. So there's lots more that I haven't covered, And the other things that you might think of is on page 135, this rainbow paper and the other ombre papers that are in there. So now there's lots of packaging. So these little gold boxes, and I did have one somewhere, but it's here. These little gold boxes are just so cute, and they are the perfect size for a Raffaello or a Ferrero Rocher, or even a little ring box. Hint, hint, my gorgeous husband. So keep that in mind. And then of course you've got lots of ribbons. I'm looking for, there is also in the paper basics, there is some shimmery white paper, which is very, very good for wedding cards, because it's got a little fleck of shimmer through it. Linen paper, so that's quite nice as well, and it's got a adhesive backing, and the vellum, and you'll see what I mean about the vellum in a moment. So there, the last thing, of course, is all the adhesive dots and sequins and things, but the gilded flakes, they are pretty much a must for Valentine's and love cards. And on the facing page, the faceted, From My Heart Faceted Gems #5, because they're pink and they're very Valentine's themed. So there's lots more in that catalogue that you could do. There is one called A Grand Kid, which I think is a really great one, just for a really great sentiment. Just find that. And it says, it's got a really great sentiment. It's got lots of great sentiments if you, it's not all about grandkids. So, but what I like is this one here, You Are So Loved. So if you're doing a card for someone who's having a really rough time and they think that they're a little bit unloved, that's, or even one of your children, I really like that one. I've used that one for my dad quite a few times because he is just so loved. He's such a lovely man. So, okay, so let's go back to the Nothing's Better Than stamp set. Are you still with me, Kim? Hope so. And also the coordinating dies, and which are I Love You More Than. And let's open that up. I've already cut one of these out. It says, oh yes, you're still with me. This says, I Love You More Than, and you can pick chocolate, coffee, cocktails, coffee, cookies, cocktails, chocolate. There's a martini glass, there's a cookie, there's a cup, there's the outline of the chocolates. So that's a really great little set. Now what I've done when I die cut this one is I put some of the adhesive sheets on the back of my glimmer paper. Now this glimmer paper actually isn't from the annual catalogue, it's from the mini catalogue that's current, and I've done this because I want to show you that you can bring the two catalogues together. So these, what you do is you just pop the adhesive sheet on the back before you create it, before you cut it, and peel off one side, and then when you're ready to stick it on, you have got already got adhesive on. Now, so I'm not doing stamping today. I'm just because I've already stamped my bits and die cut, but I am showing you a couple of little things that are really simple. So if you don't have a lot of cardstock, say you've got a piece of Pool Party, a piece of white, and some scraps of early espresso, and some 1-inch strips of Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana, you can actually make a really good card. And perhaps you've even got some scraps of vellum, right? So one of the first things that I did is I got my vellum, and I did this yesterday because I was trying it out. I got my piece of vellum and I cut it to the size that I want. And I got my new stamping blends, and I scribbled bits of the stamping blends on the back. So I did use some bronze and used all different colours. Then I got this fabulous little product from, of all places, Bunnings, and it's a really high percentage alcohol, it's like a rubbing alcohol, disinfectant, and it contains 100%, whereas I think Isocol contains about 75%. So you just draw all over it, and then you get a straw and you blow, when you've sprayed it with this alcohol, you blow it, and then you get all sorts of lovely patterns. Now this is just a little bit. So then, when it's dry, you can stamp on it. I need a piece of white to put in the background. You can stamp on it and then cut it out. So I've stamped my chocolates. So these look like little chocolates. And you can do all sorts of shapes. So, and because you've used a straw to blow it around, so I've even done some hearts as well. So if you use your straw to blow it all around, they all look different. And so what I also did, because these ones here, when I cut them out, I put a piece of the foam adhesive sheets on the back before I cut them out, because I wanted them to be raised up, but I don't want a white edge. So I just got my bronze marker. I don't know how much that was, Kim. It wasn't terribly dear, but it was hard to find. Like, you had to go to a couple of Bunnings stores, and I should have gone to the one at Acacia Ridge in the first place because they had it. That's our closest one. Yeah, so I got my marker. Oh, hi Belinda, lovely to see you. Hi Glenda. Oh, well, you're here for you might have missed the beginning, but you're here for the important part, the making. So we were just talking about using vellum on our card and colouring it to make with our Stampin' Right markers, and then spraying it with the isopropyl alcohol, and then blowing that round with a straw to make a pattern, and then stamping on it and die cutting. So we're up to, we've put some foam adhesive sheets. I've put them behind 3 of them. And the other one, I haven't actually put a backing on it. But what you can do is when you get these other adhesive sheets, because this one's for the inside of the card, I am just going to cut a little piece off about the size that I want. And tear off the backing. I might bring in my what is that sheet? Silicone craft mat. So one side, that side's not sticky, that side's really sticky. So I'm going to pop this down. I'm just going to pop my vellum on. I'm just going to put that to one side till we're ready to use it. Okay, don't worry that it's not cut out, all right? All right. So the other thing before we start assembling our card is that I have got I've die cut the word chocolate. So I've die cut it in early espresso. But I've die cut it several times. So the first time I die cut it with one layer of espresso on top of a layer of the foam adhesive sheets, and then I die cut 4 other individual layers which I had the adhesive sheets on the back of. Okay, and then I've layered it all up and I've gone around with my, well, this one's actually a chocolate chip marker, but I meant to use early espresso. And I have gone around and made sure that I've layered it up, and I've gone around the edge, and I've made sure that there's no stark white. Now you could use that with dimensionals, you can do it with all sorts. Any white foam by Stampin' Up, you can basically do that with. Now, this is all well and good, all nice and that, but I want to make it a bit more, make it stand out a bit more. So what I'm going to do is I have got my, what is it, my grotty old Versamark. I'm just going to press the front. So again, I'm doing something I don't normally do. I don't normally heat emboss. I want this to be nice and shiny. So I'm getting my Versamark, pumping it all over. I'm going to grab some clear embossing powder. I've got my little heat resistant mat and my coffee filters. I'm just gonna, let's not even worry about this, just do it this way. Make a mess today. Right, so I've covered it all. Turn it over. I can pick up my little bit there and pop it back in. Got my heat tool. And I'm just going to start heat embossing it. They're going nice and shiny. Now you might have to do this a couple of times. Okay, so that's my first time. I'm going to just let it cool a minute. You can stick it right back into your embossing powder while it's hot, but you don't have to. I am living on the edge today. I even drove this morning, Kim. I haven't driven for weeks. Actually, I think I've driven twice this year. Anyway. Okay, so I've inked that up again. Oops, it's stuck. Oh, I accidentally took the back off. That's why it was sitting on the silicone craft mat. Oh. See? Hi, Belinda. Lovely to see you. I hope you're doing well. Oh, you're just lucky you're just doing some prep for our card. So let's go back here. I don't know what that bit of white is. Ah. That's Wayward embossing powder. Let's do this again. And you can heat on your silicone craft mat, so I just want to make sure when I do it that I don't have embossing powder where I don't want it. So I'm going to do this 3 times, all right? runs really well and it's staying cool. It's a bit sweltery today. I did go to Forest Lake and pick something up and I just about melted when I got there. It's bubbling, so oops, it's moved a little bit. All right, I'm not going to do it 3 times, I'm only going to do it 2. All right, because I think that looks all right. Okay, so it's nice and shiny, and we're going to just keep going. So, thanks, Glenda, I forgot to ask you how you are. Sorry about that. I wonder if you're crafting today. You were making some cards last time I heard. Yes. So now don't forget, people, this Saturday is mystery stamping and we are going to make a quick easy card. So I've got my bits and pieces here. I'll just bang this and see if I can get out my bits that I want to get out. So as I said, I've die cut this. This is the new shimmer paper. It's a pool party colour and it's from the mini catalogue. Oh, you love mystery stamping, Kim. Oh, so do I. It's fun. People come up with so many different ideas and there's no right and wrong answers and you can use whatever you have in your stash. So that's why I love it, and it's normally not a difficult card, although I think always the first clue is probably the hardest. Now, I am apologising for any interruptions in broadcasting, because as I said earlier, our internet is dodgy today. Now I should be using my pick tool here, but I had 2 of them here a moment ago. Delphi must have taken them. And she just looked up from the lounge to say, I did not. What would I want with them? All right. So I've got my words, I've got my my bits and pieces that I need for the front and bits for the inside. Okay, so let's talk about how we're putting this together. We have got our card base, which is, you've only got ideas for cards so far. Oh, you've lost both of your glue dots. Kim, that's no good. Oh, yes, they're probably the same place as my take your pick tool. So I've got my background piece here and my base card, and this is 8 inches wide by 5 3/4. Now I do mine a little bit less than half an A4 sheet, and the reason I do that is because I work in 1/4 inches and it just makes it that little bit easier for me to put it all together. So I'm just going to take my Seal Plus, and I hope this is the right one. I dropped one and it fell apart and it's not working the way it should. Like literally it fell apart. Bits were flying all over the house. So you know, so don't drop them. Okay, so now I've got this other piece. I've layered that on. I'm going to put the inside bit in first as well. Just so this card is 1/4 inch. Sorry, it's 5 1/2 inches by 3 3/4 inches, and this is just Whisper White. Now Whisper White's currently out of stock, so if you have another really good whites card stock that you use, yeah, I would use that. Or you could use a pale colour, another pale colour. You don't even have to do this on the inside. That's not real straight. Okay, close it up. No one will see. All right, so I've got this piece here, which, as you can see, is another 1/4 inch. So it's probably a bit less than that. 1/2 inch smaller top and bottom, and I'm going to cut it down the side. So, okay, so I put a 1 inch strip of Bermuda Bay onto this earlier espresso piece. I put a 1 inch strip of 3 1 inch strips. So I did the top and the bottom first, and then I did this bit in the middle next. I like to work from the top and the bottom. So this is actually 5 inches. Sorry. We'll use our Seal Plus again. Again, don't need much. Now I'm not worried that it hangs off the edge. So this is a great way to use scraps. Now this is what they call colour blocking. So you've got blocks of colour. Now I chose these colours because Bermuda Bay and Coastal Cabana and Pool Party are all sort of in the same colour family. Now that looks pretty straight. So I'm just going to get my little mini trimmer, and I am going to trim off a bit off that side. And then I'm going to flip it over and just trim. So what did I say that was? That was 5.5 by 3 3/4. So this one here is 5. So we've trimmed it down and say there. So what you could do with this bit here is you can stamp on it, you can emboss it, like with your embossing folders. You could heat emboss it, no, but I'm just going to leave it as it is. All right, I'm not going to put this piece raised up either, because I have lots of other elements that are raised. So this is a simple card, and it's a great way to use up scraps. If you have scraps of paper, you can do them. You can't. I love the mini trimmer too, Glenda. I wish Stampin' Up would allow it to come out for everybody. I use it all the time, and I have to say, it is better than my Creative Memories one. But yes, so here I've got my base card here. So now let's just finish putting it together. So I have got the word love. Now it's got my adhesive backing paper on it. I had such a hard time today trying to die cut. I just couldn't get anything straight. Just use my point of my scissors to pull that off. And I'm just going to say love. So the first one's on love, then the word you. So I'm just doing them very similar to how the die looks, except I'm lining them up. Oops. Now I haven't made this before, so it could look really, really bad. So bear with me, and you can laugh at me if it looks laugh at it, if not me, if it looks really terrible. But I'm pretty sure it's going to work. Love you more than. Sorry, I love you more than. The only problem with using these bits of pieces, well, you need to use up some scraps, Kim. You can't be drowning in them. So now in the mini catalogue, when you see that this shimmer paper, it actually looks like it's a balmy blue, but it's not. So don't be disappointed because it's not the colour that you think it should be. Oops, there was a drawing there. Now you don't have to do yours straight, you can do it on an angle. I just didn't want to do a whole heap of stamping while you're waiting. Except I'm just doing the whole fiddly bit where I've missed a piece. I'll fix it later. You get the idea. Oh, come on. My hands aren't working today either. Hang on one sec. Yeah. So quickly talk amongst yourself. Glenda, which card are you stuck on at the moment creating for? I've turned it over and it's doing weird things. Oh, here we go. The 8-year-old boy card. Ah, well, I recommend the lots of bots and even there's one called Hey Sports Fan. That's pretty cool. I'm trying to think. There's a one in the annual catalogue with a cap. That's, most boys seem to like caps. All right, so I've got our Love You More Than, and I've got my chocolate one, and I'm hoping this is still going to stick because it got a bit stuck to the paper, but that's not a problem because what I might do is normally it wouldn't have to do this because I wouldn't have accidentally taken the paper off. Just shove a bit of the liquid glue. This is when you really need a silicone craft mat. What's the name of the cap one, Kim? You've got that one, haven't you? I'm just going to put this one up here. All right. So we got our chocolate. Try not to wriggle it around while it's still setting. Okay, so I Love You More Than Chocolate. I've got some little, and see when you, so this is how this started, and when you put this on here, you can't see the glue components. So I should have started at the left, but anyway. See, I told you I hadn't thought this through. Go this way. There we go. Now these little hearts that I did, they're using the hearts, the dies from the all new Here Together stamp set. Now, the reason I did the chocolate using this vellum like this is because it reminded me of, you know, those chocolate shells that you can get. They were really popular, really popular in the 80s. I don't even know if you can still get them. And then I've got these 3 little hearts that I'm going to pop on. And they've got the backing on as well. Now these little hearts, I put some gilding on it, so best thing ever, except it goes all over the house. Okay, so that's the front of my card. So remember before, oh hi Judy, thank you for watching. We're nearly at the end, but please, if you get an opportunity, go back and watch it on replay. We're doing all our Love Month projects. So this is, so remember before, we took our piece of vellum that we had like this and we'd stamped on it. I used my heat tool to dry it on a low setting so it the ink didn't smudge. So I've got this, because I forgot to die cut it, the background, I'm just going to rub this over, try not to get too much on my fingers. I'm just going to peel it off. So what happens is you've got only the bit that was touching the vellum has got no adhesive left on it. So the back of the vellum is all done, and we'll pop that just on the inside of the card like so. And what this does is when you use those adhesive sheets with the vellum, you don't get the little dots or whatever with them. So that's my card. I don't know if it worked or not. You can tell me that. It needs, you know what we forgot? We forgot the bling. So I'm going to use the champagne jewels as well, because even though I've got a little bit of bling on the hearts with the gilded flakes, I think it needs more. And I've found my take my pick tool. Oh, so that, Kim, thank you. That Glenda, that stamp that I was talking about is the Hats Off bundle. There might be one of your stamping friends that might have it if you don't. So have a look on Pinterest for some ideas about that. So here we've got my jewels, but I don't necessarily want them all to be champagne coloured. I want them to sort of look a bit like chocolate. So I've got my bronze marker. I won't even use my bronze marker. I'll use my new 100 marker, Stamping Blends. I'm just going to colour it a bit. So, oops, put a little bit of colour there. We can move that over. With our scissors, I'll just move that over so it covers that. So I'm keeping an eye on the time because I know that I've got to take Steve to pick up some things at lunchtime. And he's got not long until lunch, he goes on lunch. So, and what you can do is you can, if you wanted to, you could put some gilded flakes on your chocolate. You could put some, what do you call those things? Other embellishments. Got glue all over my finger, so it's not doing what it's supposed to. you could, these would look really nice, these little chocolates with some, what do you call that stuff? Some pool party coloured rhinestones. So I could have used white rhinestone, the clear rhinestone jewels, but I wanted to also have a bit of that gold or champagne colour. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there. So there we go. That's our little card. I might just do another 2. Should I do another 3? 2. 3 there. So they probably should be a little bit closer. I'll just get my scissors and move them across a bit. And we're nearly done. I literally was just talking about Steve and he walked downstairs. There you go. I'm glad you like that colour combination, Glenda. It's really nice. I actually like early espresso with the pale blues and the pale pinks. We used to do a lot of colour combinations in the old days, I'll say the old days, with early espresso and Baja Breeze, and also with Pink Pirouette. So that's my little card today, and I'll just hold it up. You see how nice and raised the chocolate is, and that's settling in nicely. So you can't see any adhesive behind those vellum bits, and they sort of look a little bit swirly like those chocolate shells that you used to get. So there we go. So there's the card, and as I said, it's from the annual catalogue. It's not what you would typically think is a Valentine's or love card, but I think that for someone with a sense of humour, they will really love it. And I'll have to be honest, this is the second time that I've used this stamp set. I've had it since it first came out, and I just haven't got to use it. And this was designed by the most wonderful lady, Connie Stewart, who I met in Orlando. I had a bit of a fangirl moment, really, because Connie is from Simple Stamping, and she is a $1 million sales achiever. And so she designed this set because she loves coffee and she loves chocolate and she loves cocktails, and I met her, and yes, she was so delightful and I was so excited to meet her. So anyway, this is her set that she created. So that's our love card for the day, and we shall see you next time. Hi Rhoda, we're just finishing now, but you can catch it on replay, and hopefully you'll get some ideas on how to use your scraps of cardstock, how you can use your vellum, different ways to adhere vellum to your card, and we shall see you next time. If you try this colour blocking layout with the strips, please share it on our group. I have got to do some lucky draws over on our Chrissy's Creative Eclectic group. I haven't done the December, January draws, so I'll do those very shortly. Probably, I might do it during Mischief Stamping on Saturday. Let's do that. Okay, until next time, happy creating, and hope you stay cool and don't get caught in any storms either. All right, bye for now.